It is my great pleasure to be part of the launch of Build Back Equal, a new partnership between the Government of Canada, UN Women, and the United Nations Population Fund. The pursuit of gender equality is one of Canada's key priorities, both at home and around the world. In 2017, our engagement abroad saw a major shift when we launched Canada's Feminist International Assistance Policy, which made the empowerment of women and girls the cornerstone of our development cooperation. The Canada-funded Build Back Equal initiative will help to bring social and economic equality to the women and girls of the Commonwealths of Dominica, Grenada, St. Lucia, and Saint Vincent and the Grenadines. Working directly with governments, regional organizations, civil society, the private sector, and women themselves, this initiative will strengthen women's economic empowerment, social protection systems for women and girls, and sexual and reproductive health and rights.
And it really is with this holistic approach of addressing economic and social and reproductive health barriers that women and girls face that this project aligns with UNFPA's long-term vision, which ensures that no woman dies in childbirth, that women and young people have access to services and information to plan their families, and that all women have the right to live a life free from violence.
The Build Back Equal project is one of the best manifestations of SDG 17, which is partnerships in achieving the Sustainable Development Goals. This was a program that was developed in close consultation with governments, with private sector and civil society partners, as well as development agencies, looking at what has worked in the past, why it worked, why it didn't, and how we could really address some of the key gaps in countries being able to achieve the Sustainable Development Goals. One of the ways in which the outcomes were really designed was looking at programs like the Spotlight Initiative, looking at programs like the SDG-funded program on social protection, and seeing where there had been small successes that needed to be upscaled or gaps that needed to be addressed.
Look at how my life really changed because of the women's program, because we had a lot of stuff going on, we learned a lot, and I was like, wow, that's really amazing, because had I not been part of it, I'm wondering how things would have been with me and the kids. With the help of the women's program, learning the courses and stuff, and the stipend, it really came along really handy. And I literally, from what the experience I learned from the women's program, I literally shared it with my peers.
The joint SDG Fund's Universal Adaptive Social Protection Project in St. Lucia supported unemployed, low-skilled single mothers to pursue basic literacy courses and enroll their infants in daycare centers.
Since I'm unemployed, through the courses and stuff, maybe I'll be able to get employed, and at least I can sustain my family better.
UNFPA will, under the Build Back Equal project, seek to address challenges that impact the ability of women and girls to achieve the highest attainable standard of sexual and reproductive health, and to make informed decisions concerning reproduction, free of discrimination, coercion, and violence.
Through the UN program in 2021, while we were experiencing our issues of the volcanic eruptions and dealing with COVID-19, we also were dealing with dengue. And through the program, we were able to offer free services, meaning free contraceptive to our women, free pap smears to our women. We offered HIV and syphilis screening for free. We also assisted in terms of clothing and food, and we did impact in the area of general counseling for those who were displaced. With this, we have now an opportunity to assist the mothers who have their children and are now working with daycare. We can assist in life skills training for our fathers or single fathers, And we can also assist in terms of psychosocial support for all.
Legal Aid and Counseling Clinic was contracted as an implementing partner organization by UN Women under the Spotlight Initiative project. And under that project, we were tasked with a number of different responsibilities around working with both perpetrators of gender-based violence, survivors of gender-based violence, and youth as a way of doing violence prevention work at the community level that ensured that young people had an opportunity to learn decision-making and conflict resolution skills that put them in a better position to make decisions. We also need to provide opportunities for economic empowerment and access to justice. So things like providing support for women who are going to court for protection orders. In addition to that, we also need to look at things like continuing education, training and retraining opportunities for women, and microenterprise, microfinancial support for women who are interested in going into small enterprise as a way of sort of developing themselves and creating economic opportunities that they may be able to use for the benefit of themselves and their families, which may make them less vulnerable.
In Dominica, the United Nations Trust Fund for Human Security project is addressing the multidimensionality of gender equality issues in the agricultural sector. That is, unequal access to land and land business ownership, discrimination in access to resources, extension services, finance, and insurance.
There was one participant who was male and 10 female participants. And this is glaring that women are taking the lead. Women want to learn. Women want to be mentored, and especially the youth, based on the ages. Persons in the agriculture sector, especially the farmers, they look at whatever they're doing just as an income earner, just to make some money and take care of their families. However, if we're able to help them to realize that they can scale this into a sector where they can make much more money, pay themselves a salary, and hire persons, record keep, and manage it just like any other business, then that will be a plus.
With the outcomes from the consultations with other stakeholders such as civil society, government, and the private sector to design a robust approach to address these issues.
We are proud that this new initiative will address the unequal distribution of unpaid and domestic care work in communities and households, and ensure that care services are integrated in gender-responsive social protection systems across the region. We now have an opportunity to do more than build back better. We can also build back equal. We can rebuild in a way that advances gender equality and the empowerment of women and girls in all their diversity.
From UNFPA's point of view, what is important to say that evidence shows that when women and girls can make the most fundamental choices about their bodies, they actually do not only gain in terms of autonomy, but also gain through advances in health, education, income, and safety. And this is why this partnership is unique. It's unique in the way that it will have a multiplier effect across several sustainable development goals beyond the impact of improving sexual and reproductive health and women's economic resilience. So with this, I want to say that we are very grateful to be able to make a huge contribution to gender equality by improving sexual and reproductive health and women's economic resilience through this partnership.
What we want to see from Build Back Equal, not only for the women of Dominica, Grenada, St. Lucia and Saint Vincent and the Grenadines, but across the wider Caribbean, we need to see women really having access to opportunities that create an even playing field for them to excel in the formal economy, for them to excel and contribute in the way that they know they can. And that is how we think empowerment really is created. It's not just about having access to the resources, but having access to the resources in a way that is truly accessible, truly inclusive, truly acknowledging what the barriers have been for those who see the opportunities but have never been able to fully take advantage of them. We're using women as an entry point for this work. Young people will benefit, men will of course benefit, as will children. So we see this as one of the key cornerstones in building back equal. From COVID-19, from the impacts of the Ukraine crisis, this is how you build back equal. One step at a time, one woman at a time, one family at a time.